Dear students, in this video, we'll study the error probability of BPSK using coherent detection. This is a very important concept to understand. So please listen and watch carefully. So here you can see the constellation diagram or signal space diagram, which we have already studied in the previous video for a BPSK signal. So here we have a single dimension, that is pi1, and this signal space is partitioned into two regions, namely region Z1 and region Z2 with respect to the center of this plane, right? So the right part of this vertical line belongs to region Z1 and the left portion of this vertical line is considered as region Z2, right? So the message point, that is symbol 1 corresponding to signal S1 of t, is located in terms of its energy, that is square root of EB, and message point, that is S21 for signal S2 of t for symbol 0, is located in terms of minus square root of EB, right? So you can see here, so this S1 of t is located in terms of its energy, that is square root of EB for the message point or symbol 1. And this is a message point 2 where S2 of t is located in terms of its energy minus square root of EB for the symbol 0, right? So whenever you transmit the binary data ones and zeros through the communication channel, at the receiver side, the receiver will make a decision in two ways. For example, if I transmit a binary 1 or symbol 1, the receiver is supposed to make a decision, the symbol 1, but because of the presence of additive white Gaussian noise, it makes a decision in favor of 0 when the binary 1 was transmitted. In another case, when you transmit a symbol 0, instead of making a decision in favor of symbol 0, it makes a decision in favor of symbol 1. And because of this, there is the error occurred in the data transmission. And what is the probability of this error occurred in the data transmission? So that we are going to calculate in this PPSK system, right? So now let us see, let the received signal, which is denoted by x of t, which is sum of the transmitted signal s of t, and this s of t may be a s1 of t or s2 of t depending upon which symbol you transmit, and this is going to added with the additive white Gaussian noise, that is W of t, right? So the same received signal x of t can be written as s1 of t plus W of t. And this s1 of t is the transmitted signal and symbol 1 for symbol 1, and s2 of t plus W of t, which is for symbol 0. And we know that this S1 of t can be expressed in terms of its coefficient S11, and that S11 is equal to this square root of EB, that is multiplied with what? Pi1 of t. So this we discussed in the previous video while discussing the generation of the BPSK signal plus this noise part, that is W of t. This is for symbol 1. And for similarly symbol 0, the received signal x of t is the sum of s2 of t plus W of t, and s2 of t is nothing but minus square root of eb, so that is minus square root of eb, which is multiplied with what? Pi1 of t plus W of t, right? So now let us assume that the symbol 0 is transmitted, and symbol 0 is transmitted, what is the output of correlator in the receiver side? So let me consider the output of correlator is x1, which is a random variable, which is calculated by integration of x of t into pi1 of t over 0 to tb. And when you transmit symbol 0, What is the transmitted signal? S2 of t, right? So x of t is equal to now S2 of t plus W of t. So that is x of S2 of t plus W of t, which is multiplied by this basis function pi1 of t here. Next, x1 is equal to integration from 0 to tb. Let us simplify this one, right? So S2 of t is multiplied with pi1 of t into dt, integrate separately, plus integration of 0 to tb, this w of t is multiplied with pi1 of t with respect to dt, right? And using a GSO procedure, that is Gram-Schmidt optimization procedure, we know that whenever you integrate the product of signal S2 of t and pi1 of t with respect to time dt, that gives the coefficient S21. Similarly, when you integrate the noise W of t with pi1 of t, so this is pi1 of t into dt, you will get the coefficient W1, right? And we know that the message point S21, which corresponds to the transmitted signal S2 of t, which is given by minus square root of EB. That's why it is very important to understand the signal space or constellation diagram for BPSK, right? So I will write S21 as minus square root of EB plus this W1, which is a random variable corresponding to the noise process W of t, I will keep as it is, right? Because S21 is equal to minus square root of EB and S11 is equal to square root of EB. We know that these from the constellation diagram. Next, we have to calculate some of the statistical parameters such as mean as well as variance for this particular the output of correlator x1. So the mean of the random variable x1, which is given by mu is equal to, which is simply a expected or ensemble value of x1, which is given by e is equal to, and what is this x1? X1 is equal to minus square root of EB plus W1. So that I will write here, expectation of minus square root of EB plus W1. And here I can write expectation of minus square root of EB plus expectation of this W1. And this expectation of W1 gives the mean of the noise. And we know that the noise has zero mean as well as the power spectral density is equal to N0 by 2. So that's why the mean of noise is equal to what? 0. So it is simply now mu is equal to expectation of x1, and the expectation, this is minus square root of EB is some constant value, and the mean of constant or expectation of constant is always constant. So mu is equal to square root of EB. So now let us find the variance of this random variable x1. So in the next steps, coming steps, you will understand why there is a necessity of calculating this mean as well as variance, right? So the variance of this random variable x1, which is square of standard deviation, so which is the variance is given by variance of x1, and variance of x1 is nothing but where x1 we know that minus square root of EB plus Wn. So which is variance of minus square root of EB plus variance of what? Wn, right? And variance of constant always yields 0. So please remember, the mean of constant is 0 and the variance of constant is also 0, right? And here the variance of W1. And while calculating the studying the statistical characterization of the correlator output, the second characteristics, that is variance, the variance of any random variable is nothing but what? The power spectral density, and which is given by what? N0 by 2. So therefore, the sigma x square, that is variance of x1, is equal to variance of W1, which is nothing but power spectral density N0 by 2, right? So once you calculate the mean and variance of this, the random variable x1, let us calculate the conditional probability density function. This PDF is nothing but the conditional probability density function when symbol 0 is transmitted, right? Right. So if we are transmitting symbol 0, but your receiver is making decision in favor of what? 1, And for that, what is the probability of error? We are going to calculate that one. So here the conditional probability density function that is denoted by f for variable x1 when you transmit the symbol 0. So this is x1 is the random variable x1 with respect to received signal x of t when symbol 0 is transmitted, which is given by the expression. So this is a standard equation for conditional probability density function when the Gaussian distribution occurs. That is the Gaussian distribution. So we have different types of distribution. Binomial distribution is there. Gaussian distribution is there. Since this additive white Gaussian noise is considered as Gaussian distribution, so we have to consider its probability density function as 1 divided by square root of 2 pi into variance. That sigma square means it is a variance into exponential function, that is e raised to minus x1 minus mu divided by 2 sigma square whole square. It is whole square, where x1 is the random variable and the mu is the mean of this random variable, and sigma square is the variance of random variable x1. So already we calculated what is mean and random variable of x1. So let me substitute those values here. So that is 1 divided by square root of 2 pi and sigma square, that is variance n naught by 2 e raised to minus x1. Now mu is nothing but what? The square root of minus square root of eb. You can see it. So mean is equal to minus square root of eb. So x1 minus square root of eb means it is plus square root of eb divided by 2 into sigma square. Variance is n naught by 2, right? N naught by 2, and that 2 and this 2 get cancelled. It is simply what? Square root of n naught. Square root of n naught. Next, so here uh, 1 divided by this 2 and this 2 get cancelled. So we'll be having 1 divided by square root of pi into n naught into e raised to minus x1 plus square root of eb divided by square root of n naught a square. Right. So next, once you know the conditional probability density function, so now we have to calculate what is the probability of error in making a decision in favor of 1, but actual symbol transmitted was what? 0, right? We are supposed to get the symbol 0 only at the receiver output, but the receiver is making decision, receiver is giving us the symbol 1. So because of that, we are getting a error. So with what probability of error we are getting these values? So that we have to calculate, right? So here you can observe, since you are transmitting the symbol 0, but the decision is made in favor of 1, and this 1 is located in region Z1, right? So here you can see the signal space diagram. So this is the message symbol 1, which is located in the region Z1. And the limits for this region Z1 is from this 0 to what? Up to infinity. So the Z1 varies from 0 to infinity. So the same thing is specifically mentioned here. Okay. Okay. The region Z1 where x1 is varies between 0 to infinity. So the probability of error when symbol 0 is transmitted, which is given by integration from 0 to infinity, the conditional probability density function when 0 is transmitted, which we have already calculated in the previous step, into dx1, because the variable is x1, so it has to be integrated with respect to dx1. So now let me substitute this density function, that is 1 divided by square root of pi into n1 e raised to minus x1 plus square root of eb divided by square root of n1 whole square into dx1, right? So since this part is constant, I will take outside the integration. So that is 1 divided by square root of pi into n1 integration from 0 to infinity, that is e raised to minus and this term, right? So if you see this exponential term, right, it is little complex one, so it is difficult to integrate, right? So now let us, for the ease of integration, so we'll make some substitution. So I will take z which is equal to x1 plus square root of eb divided by square root of n1. So I will make substitution for this one by z1, right? So when z1 is equal to this one, so let me simplify this one. That is x1 divided by square root of n1 plus square root of eb divided by square root of en1, right? So since we replace this x1, all these terms by z, we have to also replace this differentiating variable, that is dx1 by dz. So let us differentiate this z with respect to x1. So dz by dx1 is equal to, so the differentiation of this x1 is 1 divided by the square root of n1. So it is 1 divided by square root of n1 plus, so both these are constant, so the differentiation of this constant term is what? 0. So therefore we can write dx1 in terms of dz. So dx1 is equal to square root of n1 n naught into dz. So also when you when you make a substitute for some new variable z, then the limits also going to change, right? So now the limits changes from x to z. So when lower limit x1 is equal to 0, the limits for z is equal to what? The square root of eb by n naught. You just substitute here. When x1 is equal to 0, when x1 is equal to 0, the z will be square root of eb by n naught. And this x1 is infinity, this x1 is infinity, z is also what? Infinity. So now let us make change in the limits from x1 to z. So I will keep this 1 divided by square root of pi into n naught as it is. And now the limits are square root of eb by n naught to infinity e raised to minus this term is z. So the square of this one is e raised to minus z square into dx1 is nothing but square root of n naught into dz. And this square root of n naught and this n naught outside, which is outside the integral, get cancelled. So we'll be having only 1 divided by square root of 5 integration from square root of eb by n naught to infinity e raised to minus z square into dz, right? So which is 1 divided by square root of 5. So let us make one small adjustment here, or substitution. That is, I will take 2 divided by 2, right? So integration from this limit to this limit e raised to minus z square into dz, right? And in the communication system, especially in digital communication system, when we are finding the probability of error, we have to consider one important parameter, that is known as the error complementary error function. So this E means it is, ER means error, F means function, C means it is complementary. So complementary error function of any variable u, which is given mathematically as 2 divided by square root of f into integration u to infinity e raised to minus u square into du. You just compare the equation 7 and equation 6, right? Therefore, from equation 7, equation 6 can be rewritten as, so it is 2 divided by a square root of 5. So that is this 2 divided by square root of 2 pi into this u. In place of u, what we have is square root of eb by n naught, and z square is u square, right? So you can write p of 0 is equal to 1 by 2. So the remaining term, this 1 by 2. 1 by 2 into the rest of all terms are defined by this complementary error function. So that is ERFC of u, where u is nothing but what? Square root of EB divided by n naught. So this is the probability error equation when you transmit a symbol 0 and receiver does the decision in favor of 1. Similarly, the probability of error of making a decision in favor of 0 when the symbol 1 is transmitted, which is given by the same equation you will get. That is, a P of 1 means the error probability when the symbol 1 is transmitted, which is given by 1 by 2 ERFC square root of EB by n naught. And we know that the transmission of symbols ones and zeros are equiprobable. Both symbols are transmitted with equal probability, that is P of 0 and P of 1 is equal to 1 by 2, right? So therefore, for average probability of error is given by P is equal to the probability of transmitting 0 into the probability of error when 0 is transmitted plus the probability of transmitting symbol 1 and its error probability, right? So P of 0 is equal to 1 by 2 and P of 0 is equal to this one, right? And P of 1 is equal to 1 by 2 and P of 1 is equal to, which is similar to the P of 0, and by simplifying you will get the average error probability for BPSK signal, that is 1 by 2 ERFC of square root of EB divided by N naught. So this is a very important equation and this is useful when you are calculating the error probability for different transmission of symbols 1s and 0, where ERFC is nothing but the complementary error function, which is 1 minus the error function u, right? So this is about the average probability of error of coherent detection of BPSK signal.